The paradox we are about to explore is called the Ship of Theseus. Imagine an ancient wooden vessel, weathered and worn, drifting slowly across the Aegean Sea. Its timbers creak beneath a sky heavy with time, each plank a story of countless journeys. As seasons pass, the wood begins to rot, imperceptibly weakening the ship's form. One by one, the sailors replace each piece, careful and deliberate, keeping the shape intact but never the same material. This paradox asks quietly, does identity lie in the parts we see or in the continuity of the voyage itself? If every fragment is renewed, is the ship still the ship, or has it become a new vessel sailing the same waters? Beyond the ship, the paradox unfolds like an echo in a vast chamber, inviting reflection on what it means to remain oneself through change. We grasp at permanence, yet all things age, dissolve, and rebuild. The Ship of Theseus whispers of identity as something fluid, a river of becoming rather than a stone unbroken. It questions the nature of self and object, the ceaseless transformation that underlies what appears steady. If the essence is bound to the story, to the continuity of experience, then what role do the physical parts play? Or are they merely vessels carrying an invisible thread, a living pattern sustained through time's gentle erosion? Elena, a contemplative woman cloaked in twilight, sits by the shore watching an old wooden boat tethered to the dock. She sees in its weathered planks the passing of years, much like the passing within herself. Each piece replaced reminds her of her own changing skin, her shifting thoughts, the memories that reshape her sense of who she is. The boat's silent presence stirs something tender, a mixture of loss and persistence, as if the ship and she are entwined in a shared dance of transformation. Elena wonders at the fragile boundary between what remains and what slips away, and how identity withstands the slow erasure of time. Elena's reflections deepen as she recalls the stories held within the wooden boat's frame, each journey it carried, each storm endured, each sunrise it greeted. She feels the weight of invisible time, the layers quietly amassed beneath chipped paint and worn edges. Her own life mirrors this endless remaking, friendships once vibrant dimmed but reshaped, memories fading but coloring her soul's canvas. She senses that the boat's essence is not in any single plank, but in the weaving of all moments, all changes, into a continuous whole. Elena sits with a lingering ache and awe, held gently between loss and belonging, presence and absence. As days pass, Elena watches the wooden boat being restored piece by piece. The original timbers are taken off carefully, numbered, and set aside while new wood is fitted. Yet the boat's form remains steady, gliding softly on the water's breath. An unspoken tension grows within her. How can this made new vessel still be the same? Meanwhile, in a distant warehouse, the old planks await, reassembled by others into a second ship that never sets sail. Elena's heart twists with the paradox stretching between them. One ship alive with continuous passage, the other a shrine of original parts dusted with stillness. Which carries the true soul of the ship? This question lingers like twilight, unresolved but profound. Elena's inner world fractures as she confronts the paradox within herself. Which version of her is real? The ever-changing woman shaped by time, or the memory of who she once was? She feels the fragile thread of identity slipping through her fingers like grains of sand, each moment replaced, yet somehow stitched together by a quiet story only she can tell. Relationships, beliefs, even her body, everything remade continuously. She holds conflicting truths, progress and preservation, decay and renewal. In this tension, identity becomes a riddle without a single answer, a shifting pattern made visible only by sunlight breaking through fog, illuminating what is and what was. One night, Elena dreams of two ships meeting in a silent harbor, one shimmering with freshly cut wood, the other cloaked in the original weathered planks. They mirror each other in still water, neither fully whole alone. The dream dissolves boundaries, blending old and new into a single, endless journey. Elena awakens sensing that identity might not be anchored in parts or place, but in movement itself, a continuous voyage through time's endless sea. The paradox loosens its grip, revealing a gentle truth. Perhaps what defines something's essence is not fixed in form, but held softly within the flow of living experience, tender and fleeting, ever renewed yet quietly persistent. Elena begins to see herself not as a sum of static pieces, but as a story unfolding, as a ship sailing with shifting sails and new timbers beneath her feet. She embraces the changing self, the mosaic of moments and memories woven into a fragile but radiant pattern. The original parts, the replaced planks, the ongoing passage, all hold equal grace. This insight brings a calm surrender, a release of the need for anything to remain forever untouched. Identity, she perceives, is less a fixed object and more an echoing melody, a life lived in the quiet spaces between change and remembrance, between loss and the courage to sail onward. With each breath, Elena lets the paradox settle deeper, feeling the subtle pulse of continuity beyond form. She senses that the Ship of Theseus is not merely a puzzle of wood and nails, but a mirror reflecting our own fragile truths, that we are ever remade, yet singular, a constellation of moments shaped by time's tide. The ship keeps sailing not because it is unchanging, but because the journey itself carries the weight of identity. And in this tender voyage lies a profound solace, that who we are is not a yes or no, but a gentle unfolding, a story chosen again and again beneath the stars. So as the candle flickers faintly and the shadows stretch long, a question surfaces softly. If all the pieces of your being were replaced, memory by memory, plank by plank, would you still be you? Is your true self bound to the body that houses your life, or to the flickering flame of experience that carries your story? Perhaps identity is less about what stays whole and more about what we choose to keep telling. In the delicate space between change and constancy, what story will you whisper to the night? One of remembrance, transformation, or something entirely new?